This is one of those rare days where for the preview, I wore a Flames jersey. Review, I wear a Flames jersey. So on a regular season day, if I wear a jersey for a preview, it's a team that I think should probably win that night. And then when I do reviews during the regular season, I review the entire slate of games for the night. So, like next Saturday, for instance, there's 14 games on. So I will wear the winning jersey of one of the 14 teams. And yeah, so that's how that works. And this is one of those rare cases where the preview and the review, it's the same team. This was not. This was not the most enthusiastic, great game. It got good late. You could see the dislikes sort of showed up late, which is kind of surprising considering that Coleman, of course, was suspended from the actions in the last game. And so there may have been some carryover, but no, that doesn't really happen. Most interesting thing that took place in this game, we will get to. So Perfetti was on the right wing. This might have been a test for him tonight. I don't know how that went. I thought he looked good at points, but did he perform well enough to put somebody out of a job? So preseason is really about outperforming the guys who are ahead of you on the depth chart to force the coach to keep you, force the GM to keep you. And I don't know how many guys necessarily have been able to do that, and I don't know that anybody in this game tonight was able to force the coach to change his mind about what his lineup could look like opening night. There was 11 forwards, 7 defensemen for the Jets. It was Hellebuck versus Markstrom. They went the whole way. 27 seconds in, the Flames get a power play. And that was basically the only excitement of the game. I've got to be honest. It was basically the excitement of this game was on the power play. It took them 13 seconds to score on it. Mangiapane scores at 40 seconds from Gaudreau and Anderson. And I thought, hey, this is great. So Mangiapane draws the penalty, scores the goal, and we've got ourselves a game. The Flames then press for another. Puck goes the other way. Riley Nash had a shot. That was blocked. Jets press at 3.5 minutes. Markstrom makes the save. Dubois couldn't bury one. Jets end up getting a power play. During said power play, Backlund on a turnover ends up getting a nice shorthanded chance. Dubois defends that. The Flames did kill it off. And then we get the second cross-checking penalty on the Flames to put the Jets back on the power play for the second time in the first period. The Flames penalty kill, really good again. Only one shot allowed in the 2 power plays for the Jets to start the game. The shots were 5-3 for the Jets overall. But the interesting thing is the shots stayed pretty even throughout the whole game. This was, after each period, it felt like, okay, shots are still even. So it was really that back and forth throughout. There was a short 5-on-5, and then the Flames end up getting their second power play, and they score on that one as well. Monahan scores from Lindholm and Anderson at 13:04. Rasmus Anderson had a good game. He did. 2 assists there. It was a nice pause and pass by Lindholm as well. Monahan just had to throw it into the net. That was only the 5th shot, so I thought, okay, so there's a couple storylines here. Hellebuck maybe not all that sharp, or the Jets' defense giving up too many prime opportunities, however you want to see it. But, yeah, it was just... DeMello then nearly tipped one into his own net, so that's the thing, you're already kind of looking at your save percentage and going, well, that's not great. Why is my defenseman also tipping it onto me? This is not good. Ehlers then had a chance that was saved. Dubois couldn't get to the net as the Jets press. Flames with some net crashing and a press as the Jets are kind of caught running around late in that first period. And some back and forth play late, but it's 2-0 Flames after 1. Second period. Hellebuck played it out of danger. Now, I say that because it was behind his net, went off a stanchion. Kind of one of those, where's that going kind of plays. It was kind of scrambly first couple of minutes. Dubois had a chance that was stopped. And at this point, they announced Richardson. Brad Richardson was out. They were down to 11 forwards for Calgary. They dressed 12-6 tonight. Gaudreau was looking for a call as the Flames press. He didn't get it there, but there were a lot of penalties in this game. Lowry had a shot that was saved. Stastny had one that was saved as well. Ehlers gets dumped in the corner, and he exits the game for the first time out of 2 that he would exit the game. Jets press. Tanev forces a Tony Nato turnover. Hannafin had a shot that was saved, and Ehlers comes back to the bench, and everything looks fine, at least for now. Shifley was denied as the Jets pressed for some more. Perfetti was getting a lot of touches with the puck. He doesn't get on the board tonight, but he did get a lot of passes. He had the puck a lot. Whether or not that impresses Maurice enough to give him a spot in the lineup, there's some debate about whether or not he gets a spot in the lineup. Probably not. But we'll see, right? There have been some surprises out of who's been cut and who's stuck around. And before we get into opening night, I will go through that. I will go through rosters and I'll say this is kind of surprising these guys are here and it's kind of surprising these guys aren't, because there's so many players getting sent down and cut right now that it's kind of hard to follow with 32 teams now and all of that. So Jets end up going to the power play. It was Perfetti that drew that power play as well. Ehlers was on the first unit. Flames kill looked good again. After the kill, Backlund was denied out of the box. Beaulieu had a shot that was saved by Markstrom. Gaudreau with a break. And that draws a power play for the Flames. It says on the board it was the Jets, but it was actually a Flames power play. It was a Jets penalty. Lucic bats one wide. The Jets would end up killing it off. Schmidt fires one wide. Connor does as well. Not hitting the net very well at that point for the Winnipeg Jets. A lot of good opportunities, just not hitting the net. Hellebuck denied Godden. Ehlers had a rush the other way. Things get scrummy after a Markstrom save, and this is right around where Ehlers ends up being out. So I'll talk about that when we get to the third period portion of the notes. This is where I get distracted. There was a fan who kind of leaned his head around the glass, was talking to the bench. I didn't think you could do that. First off, I would think the ushers would cut that off, and secondly, security, there's supposed to be a security, because again, you just don't know. You just don't know in this day and age who the fan is or what they're thinking or what they're doing. May very well have been intoxicated. That was the speculation. It's my speculation too. May have been intoxicated. Maybe he lost his keys. Maybe he's asking, did any of you guys see my keys? Maybe that's what it was. But after that point, I had a hard time paying attention to the rest of the second period, because I was basically looking around that Calgary crowd and trying to see where all the ushers were and the security was, and noticed that there was one young woman in the crowd who was wearing a very bright pink sweatshirt that just stood out in a sea of red. It's a sea of red, and she decided, I'm going to go pink. I like that kind of rebellion. So, yeah, that happened. And as far as I could tell, security got him out of there. Now, I don't know if he got kicked out of the game or if he just got escorted back to his seat. But, yeah, they didn't put up with that. You want to make guys rush around in security, just have a fan stick their head in. Hey, guys, do you see my keys? Yeah. So, Dubé and Backlund then couldn't make it 3-0 after we get back to hockey. Connor whiffs on one. And, again, they weren't hitting the net. The Jets were just a little bit off. It's preseason. It's nothing to worry about, and maybe just that mental part of it just wasn't there at this stage. And Dubois couldn't bury one in the final minute. So still 2-0 Calgary after 2. We go to the third period. Ehlers at this point was announced to be out. Upper body injury. We're down to 10 forwards for the Jets, and what had happened was that when he was going in towards the net, Markstrom's stick had caught him probably in the eyelid or above the eye. He's joking around on the bench kind of thing afterwards. He's very likely okay. It's probably a precautionary thing. At worst, I would think he's day-to-day. I don't think there's any danger. I think their season opener is in, a week? I don't think there's much danger that he's going to miss the opener for the Winnipeg Jets. But we'll see, right? Sometimes these things can look innocuous at the time, and then they turn out to be bad. And sometimes it's the other way around. It looks terrible, and then the guy's back in the next game. So, yeah, hope that is precautionary. At 1 minute and 8 seconds, the Flames go to the power play, and it looked, honestly, the Flames game was only good on the power play. Like, the Flames looked dialed in when it came to the power play. 5-on-5, whether this is because the Winnipeg Jets defense was good or the Flames were just kind of lackadaisical, I don't know, but it was different when they were on the power play. So the Jets did kill that off. The Flames pressed 4 minutes in, a little after the power play. There was little in the way of strong chances 5-on-5, though. Tanev had a shot that deflects wide as the Flames pressed. Monahan had a wraparound that was stopped. And then Logan Stanley scores from Schmidt at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. I thought there should have been a secondary assist on that. Maybe it's awarded. It's a preseason game. It doesn't really matter. But it breaks the goose egg for Markstrom. Makes it 2-1, but not for long. At 8:46, the Flames answer. It's Elias Lindholm from Gaudreau and Anderson. So Rasmus Anderson with 3 points tonight. Gaudreau with 2 assists tonight to go with the 3 assists for Anderson. and Lindholm with a goal and an assist. So some of the players that you want to see on the board, if you're a Flames fan, absolutely get on the board tonight. Jets tried to answer, and this is where the emotion shows up. Things get scrappy at the half, and it's like emotion was suddenly in the game, and these guys remembered, we don't like you guys. And the Jets end up getting a power play out of all that. Heinola has a shot that's saved. Flames did kill that off. The shots were even. And again, like I said earlier, the shots seemed to be even throughout most of the game, or all of it. There was some sticky pushy going on out there that leads to a whistle, and we end up with some 4-on-4. So it was just two guys out there just poking away at one another, and the ref's like, all right, you're both gone. Connor couldn't get to the net. Markstrom does make saves when needed. Goudreau with a slapper, that was stopped. And I thought Logan Stanley was one of the more prominent members of the Jets, not just for the goal, but just in the way he played tonight. And I'm hoping that Stanley has a big breakthrough season. Offensively, he's never going to be confused with Bobby Orr, definitely. But Logan Stanley, he's big, he's able to use his size, and I think he's a really smart defenseman, and I think he's going to take that step this year. A lot of optimism too on this Winnipeg broadcast, because it's the TSN feed is out of Winnipeg that I was watching. A lot of optimism about the Jets and how they're going to be one of the better teams in the Central, and it really depends on how everything falls in the Central as to whether or not that's going to happen for Winnipeg. I think that division's going to be very tough. So yeah. Anyways, Stanley the bright spot. Backlund to Mangiapane wouldn't go. Backlund's next shot was saved. Shots are evened up at that point. Backlund had a decent game as well. Jets couldn't get the goalie out, and then they just didn't bother. So I think they might have tried when there was like 3 minutes left, but the Flames had it down in their end. Paul Maurice probably looking at it and going, if we pull the goalie and we get 2 goals, that means there's going to be more of this game. We're probably better off not having more of this game. We've already lost Ehlers. We've already had a couple other incidents in this game where somebody could have got hurt. So let's just get out of this and just finish it. So yeah, it was a merciful ending to this one. And according to the poll that I have going on Twitter, because sure, why not have a poll on Twitter? Currently 507 votes on whose fault it is if fans get too close to the players. 37.1% say security. 6.1% think it's the ushers. And a lot of the time at games, ushers seem to be older people. And 56.8% say it is both. It is both ushers and security. And I'll go ahead and agree with that. Because I needed something else to have in this review that was a little bit different. Because again, less notes than the other games. Because it wasn't as scintillating as action. And yeah, so that's the end of the preseason for both of these teams. We have 11 games tomorrow, though. Look for the preview tomorrow morning for those games, and then we get things going. So, anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.